Hi guys, Victor from Tech Heads here. Before we get started today, I would like to announce once again that our Patreon is officially live, but this time with some extra features. When you sign up, you officially become a producer of the show. This means that you will get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content such as our extensive show notes. On top of this, you will also have access to the episodes 4 days earlier than everybody else. If this sounds good to you, feel free to check it out at patreon.com/techheads.
4, 3,
Now
2,
on with the show.
1. So, here we go.
How you all feel tonight?
Test. Dust. Okay. I think I'm going. Okay. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you.
Want to clap?
Oh, yes. Let's clap. Let's do that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Yeah. Every time I forget, I'm like, this is gonna make my life so much harder when I'm editing. But I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, please tell us the news. I'm really excited to hear what you were talking about. Let's just open up with that.
So, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the last time we talked, I don't know if it was last episode or the one before that I wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Because I had always wanted to learn, and I forgot about it for years. And then Sam knows how to. She's been riding motorcycles for like 12 years now. So we bought one this week. Yeah.
Oh.
Right. I'm going to show you pictures, and it's so exciting. We're both so pumped. We have been shopping around for a while, and it's funny how everything worked out because not yesterday, but the Friday before, we went to, because our listeners don't know what day of the week we recorded, but like a few weekends ago, we went to a dealership and they had the perfect bike that we wanted. It was the Honda Rebel 500. It's a good beginner bike, but it has some power too. It's not like because they have the Rebel 350 and then they have the 500 and now the 1100. So I asked Sam, I was like, well, do you think that, we should look for the 350 or the 500? And she, it's so cool.
Sick.
Yeah, we ended up going to that dealership. Unfortunately, it didn't work out because of the price. These bikes are like super high demand. So within a few days that we went to that place, it was already sold. And I was kind of like kicking myself. But then on Wednesday morning, Sam kept an eye on this Psycho Trader website, which has like motorcycles for sale all over the country. One came up on sale not too far from us, and it was exactly like the one that we saw at the dealership. So we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to jump on it. So we went there before I even started to work. We were in the car at like 7 o'clock in the morning or something because we wanted to be there at the time that the store opened, and we got it. She rode it home, and yesterday I had my second practice on it, so we just take it to the Target parking lot that's close to us, and that's what I've been doing, my getting acquainted with this whole thing because it's so different than anything I've done. I mean, I don't know how to drive, a stick shift. I only drive like my automatic car, but it's not as difficult as I thought it would be, probably because this bike is light. So that's where I get, like the confidence and the fact that it's beginner friendly. But it's quite a bit going on. Like a lot of the riding is on your hands, and you do brake and shift with your feet, but I feel like it's a bit different than driving a car. I mean, I know that with a stick you still have to shift, but yeah, it's been super exciting, and we're gonna go practice today again, so we're both really excited.
Congrats.
I know,
That's awesome.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I have some cool pictures. I'll send it to you later.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll put them in the show notes, and then those Patreon people can check it out and see what you're gonna be riding around town with and stuff. So do you still have your car, and you're just gonna get rid of it?
Yeah, so I'm still working with the company, that I had the loan through. I already paid off the car. I'm just waiting for the title so I can, sell it and pocket that nice equity money. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh, I thought you
And we're just gonna keep the
leased
bike.
or not. What's the
I
word? Oh
did,
yeah.
yeah. I did, but then my lease was coming up to an end next month, so I just paid off the car, and then I'm gonna sell it so I can, have the equity on the car, because I knew I didn't want to get another car. That's why like we took it seriously when we were looking for bikes that we were gonna buy a bike. And Sam has her car, so we're just gonna keep the one car and the bike for now. And yeah, I mean, because I still want to. I see it as something really fun for us to do, but also a cost saving measure because I want to buy a house, over the next few years, hopefully. And yeah, so that's the game plan. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with learning how to ride a bike. It's very fun, and it's something that we'll be able to do together too. And if I do take it seriously, we might have two bikes at one point. But at that point, I would like to have a house to have, a garage to store it in and everything.
And then Augie's gonna get a bike.
Yeah, I mean, a sidecar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, that's awesome. Petition to change our name to Motorheads instead of Tech Heads now. Yeah, we could be Motorheads.
Yeah, right.
Well, since we're on the subject of learning new skills this week, I learned. I didn't learn. I relearned. So I got a Rubik's Cube. Because I mean, growing up, I played with it all day, every day, all the time. I would just I would like to show people look what I can do, and then I would do it behind my head and solve it and stuff. And my babysitters would always be like, "Okay, that's really cool, whatever." I would just kind of, I don't know. I didn't make a lot of friends doing it. So I kind of quit doing it because I realized oh, nobody cares. So it kind of scarred me a little bit. So I just never touched it. But then I was I don't know. I think I saw somebody on YouTube was just they had it in the background. I was like, oh my God, I forgot how fun those were. So I got one from Amazon. Shout out Amazon. We'll put the Instagram below in case you guys don't know what that is. So I got a Rubik's Cube from Amazon. And yeah, I've been while I work, I just solve it really quick. Not really quick. My best time is probably 5 minutes at this point. I'm trying to get it down to 3, 4, but yeah, just takes practice. But yeah, did you grow up playing Rubik's Cubes? I feel like you did.
No, not at all. I might have touched one, I don't know, twice in my whole life, and never really got into it. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I never really paid that much attention to them.
Wow. You should really get one.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's just I don't know. You're not fidgety like I am, so maybe not. But if I'm trying to work out a problem at work and I'm just staring at what's happening, I just grab it really quick and I just kind of clear my head a little bit and try to solve something else. That makes me feel good. And then I'm oh, brain blast! There it is. So I've also been trying to do it to where I can solve it before the water's boiling in my kettle. So I'll try to solve it as I'm making my coffee, one of the first things I do in the morning. So it's been really fun. Or I'll sit on the balcony and do it now. So yeah, it's a fun time.
Damn, that's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I can see the appeal. It does sound like something because it's not as it's a puzzle, but it won't take you as long, to I guess solve it, and it's something that you get that feeling of reward, I guess, once you solve it, it's cool, it's a quick accomplishment. But yeah, that's really cool that you got into it. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I really like about the Rubik's Cube is just how many different possibilities there are of the arrangement. I don't remember the exact number, but there's apparently it's okay. So whatever scramble you have of the Rubik's Cube, if it's all messed up and crazy looking, it's very, very likely that layout has never been done before on any Rubik's Cube in the world. That's how many different possibilities there are.
No way.
There's 86 billion crazy different combinations. Yeah, because I mean,
Damn.
you have 6 sides, you have 3 tiles per side. You have the edge pieces, the corner pieces, like, yeah, it's just great.
Right.
It's a different puzzle every time, and it's just so fun. And like, you could obviously, like, you have a very high chance of seeing an arrangement you've never seen before. And you're like, wait, how do I get that piece over there now? I've never actually dealt with this. So it's fun. I like it. But yeah, so shout out Rubik's Cube. We'll put their Instagram below as well in case you guys don't know what Rubik's Cubes are.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, and then last night this was crazy. It's like normal life is kind of returning. We had people over last night, and I got to DJ for people, which I've never done before. So that was really fun. Yeah, it was a fun time. Oh, let me show you, Anna, real quick. So I have the turntable right there, and then I just like turned my laptop facing here, and then I just kind of chilled in the corner and played music for people. It was really, really fun. I enjoyed it. Because I only do it for myself. I don't really. I've never done it in front of people, so it was fun to do that. I had a lot of fun. It was crazy just having people over.
That's really cool. Yeah, it really. I mean, I'm with you. I think in the regards that it does feel like things are sort of going back to the way they were, before like the pandemic lockdowns and safe distancing. So yeah, I think. It's nice to interact with people more. I feel like I also miss that. I mean a bunch of my friends have pretty much like spread out. Like you moved all the way to the West Coast, and a bunch of like my friends from like high school that used to live in Orlando. I think one lives in Miami, one went back to Brazil, or like she goes back and forth, because she lives in both places. And another one is in Texas now. So yeah, I feel like it's the couple that we met that we're going to their wedding in late April, they used to live in Florida, now moved to Texas, and I think they might be moving, up to the East Coast. And so everybody like is spread out, so it's definitely different, but I feel like it does feel it has a more, I think, upbeat feel than like that sense of like uncertainty that I was still getting last year when. I mean, I feel like, people can relate where you just didn't know what was going to happen. Sure, there's a lot going on right now, with like the war and all of that, economy. But I still feel like, I don't know, it feels, at least in my mind, a bit less tense than this time last year, So it's nice. And I mean, if you like interacting with people, that helps. It's I feel like it rejuvenates or like it refreshes the energy. So yeah, that sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, especially when we spend a whole week just working from home, and then you're like only seeing one other soul, and then the weekend comes, you're like, oh, I'm still not gonna see anybody because we're in lockdown. But now it's like getting back to business as usual, and it's just it is really cool to be like, how was your week? Like now I don't know, before pandemic it's like you kind of would I don't know, this might sound super crazy, but like you ask how people are doing because it's polite. You do want to know, but it's also just really polite to ask that. But now more than ever, I like really, really want to know, like, how was your week? Because like it's just talking to other people, it's just such a rare treat. But now it's now it's actually happening. So yeah, it's been awesome. I really love it. I'm going to a comedy show on Tuesday, so that'll be fun with some people. Yeah, it's like an open mic night, because like I want to see like local just people walking up there trying to like crack jokes and be either really good or maybe people will bomb and it'll be cringy, but I'm so excited. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, have you been going to the office at all or no?
Yes, I went last week and I went this week. I've been going. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick to once a week until the gas prices really chill out. I mean, it's only 15 minutes away, but yeah, it's been really nice. The 2 days I've gone were really good timing because I had so much work both of those days. So I really was like, oh, thank God I'm not home. I wouldn't get as much of this done if I were at home right now. My dog would probably annoy the crap out of me. So, yeah,
Right.
it's been nice. I actually, I picked up another computer. So now I have 2 work computers. Because
Nice.
they deployed Windows 11 on a couple computers just to test it out with all of our apps and such. So the IT people, they're like, yo, take it home, like test drive it, see how Windows 11 works with all of the tools and apps that your team uses. So I've been like just doing some self-testing, like not super official, just like seeing like if anything comes up that's gonna break any of our stuff at work. So that's been cool.
Yeah.
So far so good with that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, is your team you guys are obviously still in Windows 10, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we don't have like the managed hardware, like the managed computers by the company, you know, because the laptops that we got for like the engineering team, they're essentially it feels like it's a personal device, you know, because it's not a personal machine, rather. It's not. It doesn't have any of like the software that the computers that you get directly from the IT team, you know, like with all the pre-installed, like I don't know, maybe monitoring software. I don't know what it is that they install in some of those other machines. These come directly from like the vendor, and when I set it up as like a personal device, you know. So I created my own account. I didn't have to log in with like the company account or anything like that because it's not through Active Directory. So it's like, you know, a laptop that's set up essentially like how I had to do with my Mac when I got it from, you know, from Apple. But yeah, I still haven't received the alert, you know, to install Windows 11. So I am still waiting for that. And but a bunch of people on one of the Slack channels have said that they've been, you know, using it for a while. So yeah, whenever, you know, it alerts me, I'll go ahead and go through with it. Hopefully it won't be like it won't break any of the things that I have installed, because some of them were a big pain to build. You know, like we have a local build of like the application that I work on, and that took a while to figure out. You know, because it's a big you know, ASP.NET application with like, you know, Angular backend, database, you name it. Like it was very complicated. It took like a week for me and my buddy to be able to, you know, recreate the local build on our machines. So hopefully it won't, you know, we won't have any conflicts with Windows 11. But when it comes out, I'll definitely try it. So,
It is out actually. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason why I don't know, because, you know, like in Windows, you can go to your settings and then I think like Windows Update or something. I think I checked mine like 2 weeks ago and it said your machine is not, Windows 11 is out, but your machine is not quite. Like, I don't know, what it said something like when Windows 11 is available, we will notify you. So, yeah, that's why I haven't done it.
Interesting.
I would just wait for that.
I would trust that. Don't listen to me. So this is going to be an awesome transition. But so I've been playing a lot of Watch Dogs lately, and you know, if you guys are gamers, which maybe you're not, whatever. It's a game, you know, has to do with hackers, blah, blah, blah. Like, they hack each other, they hack the government, they hack the system, you know. There's good people, there's bad people. It's just the whole thing. So, I came across an article this morning about Lapsus. Have you heard of Lapsus?
Is it the organization that hacked Nvidia?
I was going to ask you. I think they are. I didn't really...
they are, because I read the article again this morning. Yeah.
Okay. So for you guys who don't have Morning Brew, like I told you to get Morning Brew last week, then you wouldn't have seen this. But so the Lapsus team, it's a hacking group of people in England, and apparently it's okay. So they got caught. They got arrested by the police in London, and these people aren't just normal people. They're like high school kids. They're ages 16 to 21.
No way.
Yeah, there's like a dozen of them. And they're just little kids, like just hacking Nvidia. They hacked Samsung. Who else did they hack? I wrote down some others, I think. Well, anyway, so Lapsus was, their goal was to basically hack any company, steal the data, and then threaten to leak the data until that company pays up for the data, basically, which we talked about last week before, whatever, about Nvidia. And I don't think they had any idea like who it was or whatever at the time. Maybe they knew it was Lapsus, but nobody knew who Lapsus really was. So they actually, 7 people from Lapsus got caught. And the ringleader is 16. He's just some kid who would do this as an after-school hacking job. And they amassed over $14 million by doing this as a group. How freaking crazy is that?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So was he a genius or? I mean,
nowadays I don't really know. I think anybody can really learn this stuff, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, of course he's highly intelligent, but they weren't super smart, because they only got caught because they were just like, they have huge heads and they like would like to brag online about how they hack big companies and stuff. And then a rival hacker, which this is what made me kind of make the connection between real life and Watch Dogs, because there's like rival people, like there's good hackers and bad hackers basically, but a rival hacker doxed the ringleader, so that's how they got caught. Yeah, so I mean, they like I said, they did it to themselves, because they would literally like go online and just like brag about what they did, essentially. So just if you're so smart, why would you do that? So I don't know, they were getting a little too
cocky.
A little too cocky for sure. That's what I was gonna say. So
that's really cool that you brought that up, because I read the article, because I was going to do a follow-up on the Nvidia ransomware thing, because we talked about it a few episodes ago. But I didn't know that the team got caught, because, I remember when they actually took credit. That's how I guess now it makes sense. Lapsus, they took credit for the hack with Nvidia. And I was like, yeah, they're definitely cocky there. They want their names to, like, the name to be out there.
Oh, it's Lapsus in it.
I know, yeah. So good thing they got caught. Yeah, I mean, it has to be. They have to be made like an example of, because it wasn't their right to take what they took, and whatever. I mean, I guess now it remains to be seen, but it is surprising how young they are. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they hacked Samsung. Like, that's another huge ass company. They stole the source code from Samsung's Galaxy devices, and then last month in February, that's when they hacked Nvidia after Samsung to get like the employee credentials and stuff. So the Samsung one might have put them on the map, and then they were like, all right, let's go for the big boy. Let's go for Nvidia. So I think they're really, I don't know if they caught all of them, but they caught I think it was 7 of them, not a dozen, but anyway, they caught a lot of them. So shout out to London Police. We'll put your Instagram handle below in case you guys want to follow them. Anyway, there was another thing I wanted to talk about. So Fashion Week is approaching, I think. I don't know if it's the real Fashion Week or what, but the Metaverse Fashion Week is approaching. So it's going to be in Decentraland. There's going to be 60 plus high-end fashion brands. And apparently it's taking place in like a 6,000 square foot plot of virtual land. So so some crazy things that I guess are going to happen. So Forever 21 is I guess they already opened it, or maybe they're like just opening it for the public. A 450,000 square foot store in Decentraland. So again, these are fake places, fake clothing, but you can go in and buy it, probably as NFTs or whatever the hell. But this was crazy. So Grimes is going to be performing a DJ set at the fashion show. She's going to be like, I don't know, wearing some bodysuit from a very expensive clothing company. We're just like, okay, like, if it's gonna be anybody performing in the metaverse, I mean, of course it's gonna be Grimes. That just makes perfect sense. I feel like she invented the metaverse just with her existence.
I've never heard any of her. Have you heard her sets before? I've never heard anything that she's
I've heard.
made.
Yeah, she has some bangers. Like I do like some of her music, but it is very out there, and it's like futuristic avant-garde techno, crazy beats, stuff like that. Yeah. So it just makes sense. Yeah. And Elon Musk, being with her, just I don't know. I think that makes perfect sense. But
yeah, I mean, I'll have to check out her music, and then we can do a follow up on this fashion show thing.
Yeah,
I mean, that should be interesting.
Oblivion. That's the sickest one. I love that one. It's a really good song. Yeah, but some of the stuff, it's like,
nice.
It is cool because like there are some really good ones, and then there's some that are just like, that's a song.
Questionable. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but Oblivion is really sick. So definitely check that out. This was something else too. So, we've all heard of Uber, obviously. So, apparently Uber.
Wait, what?
Uber,
What's that?
Well, have you ever heard of taxis? It's kind of like a taxi, but you order it on your phone. So, anyway,
damn.
Yeah. So check out Uber if you've never heard of it. Cool company. Anyway,
they're up and coming. It's a startup.
It's a start. Yeah, it's a true unicorn at this point. They're hoping to raise some capital by the end of the quarter. So we'll see about that.
Right.
So they just partnered with New York City Taxi, like Uber, and
no way.
Yeah, which is absolutely mind blowing because it's totally backwards from their original mission to like kind of get rid of the whole taxi thing. So so here's the headline. So Uber reaches deal to list all New York City taxis on its app. So you'll be able to like check out the taxis on the Uber app eventually too. I don't think it's like officially happened. They just announced the partnership. So so taxi drivers will be paid just like Uber drivers. So the amount they make per trip will be much more calculated because if you've ever, been on the streets in New York City and been like, hey, taxi, like, you have to do that whole thing. And then, and then you get in and then you tell them where you're going and then they drive you. And there's like that little thing that the meter or whatever, it just like keeps going. Like, even if you're at a stoplight, the price is going up and it's just like, okay, this is kind of unfair. Like, so like, and it's also unfair for the drivers. Like if there's zero traffic and they just like get there super quickly, but it was really far away, they didn't make a lot of money. So it's like, Uber came around and they have that little algorithm to calculate how much the ride will be. And it's just like a set price and you don't have to really worry about external factors or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which has its ups and downs, obviously, but I think that's a little more fair. So now taxi drivers are going to be paid just like Uber drivers will be, which overall I think it will be a better way for them to kind of calculate and like make a consistent amount of money, so it's not super variable. But here's a quote from the former CEO of Uber. This is why I think it's so funny that they're partnering. So he said that we're in a political campaign and the candidate is Uber and the opponent is an asshole named Taxi. He said this in 2014 because obviously they wanted to get rid of taxis. They're like, they were like direct competitors in a way. So,
right.
So by 2025, Uber actually has a plan to list every taxi in the world on its app. So I think the current CEO, his name is like something McDonald, but he said, it's certainly ambitious. I certainly think it's possible. Like, is that really a PR statement? Like you're just saying like, certainly.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Yeah. I think that this is the perfect example of if you can't beat them, join them.
Literally, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like there was so much pushback from the taxis in New York. I mean, I feel like the taxis over there is just like, it's a cultural thing in New York City. So they knew that there was so much pushback and, maybe like the legislation was siding with the taxis instead of with Uber. And, there's probably lobbying around, with taxis in New York. So, yeah, I feel like if they want to stay relevant in an area where taxis are not going anywhere, then might as well join them. Like why keep fighting that battle that you're not going to win? I guess like they probably recognized that it was time to, I guess, explore a different, plan. So there it is.
Yeah.
I guess Uber and New York Taxi is a thing now.
I also think it was probably a good business move too, just because I think they were losing quite a bit of drivers over the, like, I don't know, past few months, maybe even the year. Like, I think a lot of drivers kind of were over it because of, the lack of benefits, a whole assortment of headlines that we've seen about Uber in the past year or so. So I think this was good because now they have so many more drivers technically in their ecosystem. So now they don't really have like this huge shortage. Like, these people are already taxi drivers. There's not no reason, but there's, plenty of reason to just like, kind of hop on and continue doing it. Like I said, less variable cost and, I don't know, just higher volume of people willing to drive for them. So I think it was a pretty good business call, but it is so crazy that like back in the day when Uber was actually a startup, like you had cases of taxi drivers like literally like doing, very sad things, like committing suicide just because they weren't in a job anymore, really, because Uber just like came out of nowhere and now nobody's calling taxis. So maybe it is really good that we, they have this alliance now. So so that happened. Yeah. Did you have any news or recommendations or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I actually had two pieces that I came across earlier today. So it turns out that Netflix just bought its second video game studio this month, March of 2022. Which I feel like kind of reveals like their play, into the e-game or like the video game, sector, because they're already a huge, like a streaming giant. I mean, you say streaming, I feel like it's almost synonymous to Netflix at this point. But yeah, so they just back in September they bought I think their first video game studio called Night School Studio. That was back in September, and then Next Games and Boss Fight Entertainment were acquired just this month. And I think these are more like iOS apps kinds of games. I don't think I really saw any like big video games that any of these three studios have come up with.
Yeah, they're like mobile games. Yeah.
Mobile games, yeah, exactly. And I think that their play is to start offering games just like, doesn't Apple have Apple Arcade or something like that?
Yeah.
So I think that I don't know if that's kind of like the competition that they're, going against, but they're planning on offering video games, through their subscription service. So it should be interesting how that's gonna pan out. But I thought that it was worth like noting because I mean, Netflix has always been all about just TV shows, movies, and things like that. But now it can, become like an actual game provider or whatever.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, like, what games or like if they're going to have anything catchy as like Candy Crush or whatever, those other apps that people play on the phone. I think like Wordle is one that's kind of catchy right now, which is sort of like Words with Friends, but not really.
Right.
But I think it might be from the same studio. And one of these studios was actually formed by former employers of Zynga Games, which Zynga Games is a big, mobile developer, like mobile game developer.
Yeah.
I think that they were behind Words with Friends. But anyway, yeah, so I thought that was really cool that Netflix is, kind of like getting into that. And on an unrelated note, the most I'm excited about is I don't know if you've ever had this struggle, but when you go to like a friend's house or you go to like a coffee shop or whatever, and you've connected to the Wi-Fi before, but you don't know what the password is, in case you want to tell it to someone else, or if you have a new device, that doesn't remember the password. So it turns out that you can find that password like on your computer, like using Keychain Access, which is an Apple app at least. and you can review like the string, like the actual password to that network. And that was groundbreaking because I didn't even know, like to me at least, I didn't even know that you could do that.
Oh, really?
I was so excited. I mean, I know that every time I connect to like a Wi-Fi network and I try to like reconnect, my computer will remember what it is. But sometimes I want to know what the actual, like what the password is, so I can tell it to someone instead of being like, oh crap, let me like, log in for you, or let me see if I can share it with the feature on my phone or whatever,
Right.
or with my laptop. And this one, you can actually read what the password is. And I really love that. I've been looking for that feature for like ever. And I just never really thought of like searching for it. But when I was looking at like news on CNET, it was one of their featured articles today. So I was like,
Interesting.
okay. Yeah.
Well, do you only do it on the computer,
so-
or do you also do it on your phone? Because you can look at keychain on your phone too.
Yeah, no, I've on my phone I do it quite a lot. But I feel like with my laptop, I mean, if I take it anywhere, I mean, I'm probably with the laptop. If I take my laptop with me, it's probably because I'm going to use Wi-Fi somewhere else. With the phone, I have 5G, so I can go without the Wi-Fi. But with the laptop, yeah, I feel like sometimes I forget to like write what the password is. So I don't know. I just thought that it was like sort of useful, but I do have like a Firefox account because I use, Firefox on my laptop and my phone. So it stores the passwords there. And also on, the iPhone, because I use Face ID a lot. I like that. So it just stores, like everything on there. And then you can kind of like go back and look at passwords and stuff. But yeah, for those who don't know, keychain access is the way to go. I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
Does Face ID work on twins if they're identical? Like, can you hack into your twin's phone?
Maybe. I mean, I've heard of people that are not twins or anything being able to unlock like, Face ID. So maybe. I think that, yeah, twins would just be easy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Face ID is crazy. I think that's insane how that even works. Like I don't know, whatever it is, like whatever face tracking stuff like that, there is like zeros and ones behind it, and then they can match that and then make it so that it unlocks the device. I think that's so crazy that the camera's even strong enough to like distinguish, even if somebody's remotely similar looking. I feel like if I were to try to do that, it would be like, you're blonde? Okay. Come on into my phone. Like, it's crazy that you can get hyper specific. I'm sure even like fraternal twins, I'm sure it might work until they update it a lot better. But I heard that they're going to do a thing with masks. Like if you're wearing your mask, it'll still unlock, but it's like, okay, now nobody's wearing masks.
I did hear.
It's a little late.
I did hear about that too. Yeah, I think leading up to the Apple event in the fall, when they unveiled the laptop, and I think it was just the 26-inch, the 16-inch laptop.
26-inch laptop. Could you imagine?
Oh my God! Imagine closing that up. It's like a cookie sheet.
Yeah, it would be like the size of like in elementary school, those big poster boards. You'd have to like the trifold poster boards. It'd be like that big. You'd have your own cubicle in Starbucks.
Jeez, ridiculous, honestly. So going back to that, I was kind of hopeful that the laptops would have Face ID. They do have Touch ID, like the one that I use, and I use that all the time. Believe me, I don't like typing my password up anymore. Because I feel like I got spoiled with my phone, where I don't really have to type my password anymore. So, maybe, eventually. I think that the new iMacs that just came out, or which one is the one that just came out? The Mac Pro or
the Studio?
Is it Studio Pro? Yeah, right. That camera doesn't have Face ID either. So I don't know if the keyboard, that comes with the computer, because I know that the display is separate from the actual computer. So does that mean that you have to buy your own keyboard and mouse?
Sounds like
huh?
it. Yeah. I mean, they're probably already banking
damn.
on you having one anyway. Kind of like how
Yeah,
don't they no, what am I thinking of? Not chargers, but like headphones. Like how they don't include like the wire headphones anymore when you buy a phone.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
you probably already have one, or like AirPods or whatever. So I think it's probably one of those situations where they just don't include that thing anymore. So
Yeah. They probably don't. I think that most of the keyboards that you get nowadays probably do have the Touch ID, button on there. But yeah, Face ID would be nice because I feel like it would go with your phone, like that's a feature on the phone. But
it's bold of them to assume that I even have hands. I have a face, but
right,
if I don't have
I
hands,
have a face,
like,
but how do you know I have hands? Yeah, I was watching MKBHD's review video of the studio, Mac Studio, just a few days ago, and he was pretty honest about the display, and I actually, it was just the display. I was curious to see what his take was going to be on it because I think he had already done a video on the actual Mac Studio, the computer itself. So yeah, some interesting words. I mean, for those that care about what he has to say, watch that video. He obviously, like, he drew his own conclusions, but honestly, nothing that really impressed me. I know that we already talked about the event because it happened like 2 weeks ago or something, but it wasn't anything as groundbreaking. I mean, it wasn't really anything that I personally wanted to pay attention to anyway, because I'm a bigger fan of laptops than desktops, at this point. And also probably because I'm not in the market for a computer anytime soon, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, as far as the display goes, I think that it would be cool to have, but he compared it to other laptops that almost had the same specs that were like a third of the price. So I guess that says something,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I heard mixed things about the display for sure, but yeah, I'll have to watch his take on it as well, because I read an article on like I think some people from The Verge maybe or from Fox, they were not given one, but for work they were allowed to use it for a week or whatever, and they had really good things to say about the studio, but they said that the display didn't really hold up to what they were expecting. So I don't know. Take that from I don't know, just some guy who just read an article. Like, I've never used it. It might be awesome for like what you do, but yeah, I don't know. They're just if they're people who review tech, they probably know a lot. So
right,
yeah. But just a random reminder. I just see my terminal going. My bot's still running. No issues.
Ooh.
So it's still chugging along. It works. I get the emails because we had like 2 nice days this week. I got the emails. I was like, all right, well, I already knew it was nice out because I just looked outside, but it's cool. So I'm going to, I did realize like I need to integrate, I need to change something up about the predictions. Like I need like maybe a 6-hour notice. I don't want it because it tells me immediately. It's like, hey, it's nice out. I'm like, I know. It's already nice out. Like I want to know like 6 hours before it potentially happens. So that's something I got to change. Yours is clearly working because we got the notification today on Slack. So
yeah, well, it was weird because it is working, but I was surprised because I said I checked, like I made a mistake when I was checking the cron job, because I'm logging it as well to make sure that it does go through like with the, I'm logging the timestamp and the response to make sure that it's correct. And yeah, we're supposed to get the notification every Saturday, but I think I screwed up. I forgot to reset the actual cron job time, for Saturdays at noon. Yeah. So it didn't run when actually I caught it before we hit noon. So I went into the cron job and edited the time and everything, saved it. And then next thing I know, it was like 12:19. I think I looked at the clock and I was like, what the hell happened? And it was actually not the script. It was Firefox that kept telling me that I had to restart Firefox. So as soon as I did that, it worked. And, I think we got 2 notifications because I ran it twice to make sure. Like once was manual and I think the second time was with the cron job. So yeah, I hope that I don't have that problem, next week, so I can just let the thing do its do what it's supposed to do. Because I'm leaving my laptop connected to the internet. It's powered up and everything. So I think the only thing is I have to look, because I think it's okay if as long as the lid is not closed and the laptop does sleep, it should still run the job. But I am not 100% sure because we're relying on the browser.
Why does the lid have to be open? I mean, it's a cron job, so I don't know if that's different. But if you changed your settings to what your laptop does when it closes, right? Do you think that would have any?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because my laptop, I never,
could
ever open it. And like everything's running. I like the bot hasn't quit yet. And
yeah.
I do have to. I reset my computer this week because I don't do that enough, and I recommend you all, when you're done with this podcast, go reset your computer just to give it a little snooze. I was doing that, and obviously the program turned off. So my next thing that I want to do is either implement just like on startup, run the program, or go the extra mile and get a Raspberry Pi and have that just like kind of run the show for that bot if I can. Nice. I know very little. I've seen people do really awesome things with their Raspberry Pi. So I don't even know if it'd be applicable to what I want to do, but I would love to play around with one and see what I can accomplish with it. So yeah, it'd be cool. And then maybe one day I'll have a whole house full of Raspberry Pis doing the stupidest little tasks. So
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I have to look at those settings, to make sure that it will work just fine. Because like I said, 2 things I need to make sure is, will it run, if the lid is closed, if it's locked or whatever. But it should. The only thing is it does open a browser window. Like every time the script runs, it opens a new Firefox window, because So yeah, eventually I might refactor the code and just rely on the API. Take a look at some of the stats that I can get from the API, since I already do that for the all-time downloads. But yeah, I figured that for the last 7 days, which is like one of the lines of code that we have on there, it was easy to get that from the UI by using the Selenium driver. But I think that for the API, I would probably have to do a little bit of math, to be able to get that. Because I don't think that I can get the same thing from one of the endpoints. They just give you like how many downloads per date and then the all-time downloads. They don't give you like per week or, per like last 7 days
why?
Or whatever.
It's because we don't have the highest tier membership for our distribution, so they probably wouldn't give us that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so if we had the top tier membership, you'd probably see it in the API. Yeah. It might actually even be an endpoint that is listed in the docs. I don't know how hard you looked or if they listed all of them or whatever, but I would imagine that's available to people who pay more, because whenever I look at the analytics on the dashboards, it'll say like, unlock, here, because it'll show it like a little preview and be like, unlock to see more, and it's like, okay, so it exists, but you're just gonna charge us more to look. So
yeah, and I think their API is pretty straightforward. Like you can get good information from it, but it's not. And I guess you can make it as specific as you want, and it wouldn't be that hard, I guess, to just rely on the API. So I don't have to worry about a cron job not running because the computer is locked and it would try to open a browser window. But yeah, I think I'll take a look and see, if it does become like a problem, because I still think it would be cool to get, like these weekly notifications.
Right.
So Yeah, I'll do some more digging, but I'm still okay with where it's at, so I'll just have to keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Um,
Yeah, it was a fun little project.
yeah, I'm glad we did that. I think we'll do another one soon. A little bit of like
Yeah,
a
for
challenge sort of scenario like that would be cool. Cause then, the next one, it could be, a little more like specific on like the task at hand. Like maybe we both have to do the same thing, but then we like, try to do it on our own and whatnot. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would.
Listeners, feel free to submit your ideas for what you want automated, and then maybe we'll consider doing it if it's not too hard. So my recommendation, it's very, very, it's a recommendation, but it's also like you really don't have to check it out. It's totally fine. I won't feel like a loser for recommending this, but my team got Udemy Business, so like we can go on and learn like, a new programming language or a new framework or a new like stack. Like, I don't know. There's just so many videos on there, and usually you have to pay for these courses, but we get them for free through work now. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to use this. So I found one that's Python and math. Like it's like linear algebra, calculus, and like diffie-q, like all of these with Python. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. So I just started that a few days ago. I'm very, I'm not deep in it whatsoever. I've done like 2 or 3 lessons, and it's been really cool. Just like working with Python and math. Cause, I don't know. I realized recently, I was like, damn, I suck at math. I don't remember anything. So, I started like trying to do some calculus in the morning before I start work, and I was like, okay, this is all right, but like I'd rather like kind of do something with Python and this. So I found the course, and I was like, okay, let's just do it. So I've been doing that, and yeah, if you're looking to brush up on some calculus and maybe learn a little Python, please check it out. I guess I can link it below. I probably won't, because I think I have to be on my work computer to do it. So I'm sure you'll find it on your own if you look it up or find a better person for you or whatever, because there's so many different courses out there that do the same thing. So yeah, that's my hyper specific recommendation this week.
That sounds really cool. I honestly, I am so jealous that you like doing math like that. I like programming, and yeah, I think that in a way programming is related to math, but I feel like it's just maybe like the logic, aspect, like because it's a series of steps that you have to go through in programming. So I think, I'm not that jealous. I'm so glad that the math classes that I had to take for school are way, behind me, because it's just like, oh man, I don't miss those days at all. Those classes were rough.
Well, that's the thing. Like school made it so shitty, like. And, some of these subjects, not just math, but like a lot of these subjects, they could have been really fun to learn on their own if like they weren't crammed down our throats and like giving so much homework and tests and stress on top of all the other subjects. So like, I really did enjoy all my math classes, except for the fact that it was really hard on top of all my other studied, courses and whatnot. So, now I'm like not in school anymore, so I can just do it solo and on my own time and do it whenever I want and learn whatever I want. I don't have to go off of a syllabus of any kind, so I can just learn what I want to learn. And I think it's cool. You can be like a recreational mathematician if you really want to. And so that's what got me kind of stoked on it. I think it kind of stems from like I love reading books, but in school, especially like in high school, once a teacher told me to read a book, even if it was a book I planned on reading, I would be like, I'm not going to read this. I don't want to do it. If somebody's going to tell me to read it and like take notes and like take a test on it, it takes all the magic out of it for me. So I think doing it on my own like this has been really a different experience, and kind of like lets me think like, oh, well, how does this connect with that? Or like, will this help if I learn this next? Like, I can kind of approach it with my own sort of perspective. So,
yeah, No, yeah, that's true. I completely agree. Like when you're forced to learn something, there's like no real interest like in it. It's totally different. And I think that that's probably why I mean, math was never like my strong suit.
Same.
I mean, I got through calculus 3 and, then linear algebra and all of that stuff. And it was rough, but yeah, when I, had to take it, I applied myself to really get the best grade that I could, because I knew it was going to be important. But for pleasure, that's why, I admire that you're actually like, I'm going to wake up early and do calculus. That would never be me.
It is psycho when you put it that way. I think part of it is just like sometimes like I get through the day and I'm done working and then I'm like, I have no other responsibilities. And I just feel like I'm losing like brain cells sometimes if I don't do enough extracurricular. So that's why I feel like I get not obsessed. That's such a strong word, but I feel like that's why I always try to like learn tiny new skills or like get a new hobby in. Little things like that I think are just important for the brain. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've been meaning to take like a Web 3.0 course. I feel like that's what I want to do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we just got into like this whole bike thing, and I feel like it's kind of like the new thing that has my attention right now. So I probably want to focus on that for a little bit. And I mean, obviously like coding is still like, a big, it's not a hobby because I do it professionally as well. And it's something that when I miss it, I just pick up the computer and I do something, there's nothing that really, it's not like wanting to learn how to ride the bike. We had to go buy a bike, and it was this whole process. Now with coding, you literally just pull up your laptop and you can do it, so.
See, for me, when I first started coding, I had to go to a Target parking lot and sit in the middle of the parking lot and learn basic functions, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's very different, but I think, I don't know. It's a cool time to like learn anything because now I definitely have, a lot more disposable time, that's why I'm trying to like fill it up with things that I actually want to do, because I feel like for years it was like school or, things that I had to do because I wanted to get to where I'm at now. But yeah, I mean, there's so much time in a day that, there's plenty of activity, like fun activities now that I can fill it up with. So
yeah,
I'm pretty happy with what's happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, for both of us, the majority of our lives, we've been in school, which is so psycho to think about. So now, we do have all this extra time, like relative to what we're used to, like, when we were in school. So I think it's just natural for people to like, get a little bored and like have all this time and just get curious and learn something new. And I really want to embrace that and not let that slip away. Cause I could see myself getting really just like into video games, for instance. Like I really only play a few times a week. And even just recently, I hadn't played for like a couple months just cause I was, trying to learn something new or whatever. And I don't know. I feel like I could easily slip into like doing something that isn't very productive outside of work or whatever, and just like not really learning anything else. And then next thing you know, you're like irrelevant to, the next sort of opportunity because you didn't stay up to date or you didn't learn this or whatever. So it's just like, it would be hard if you weren't always curious about learning something new, I think. So. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's definitely my case. I mean, I think I'm a very like curious person. I do get I don't know if it's like a personality thing or just like a me thing, where I feel like I do grow old of the monotonous, day-to-day things because I feel like there's already so many constants, in my life. I mean, I have a job, so I'm expected to like, work certain days of the week. So I already know that time is going to be taken up.
Mm-hmm.
And with the other free time, I feel like I like to rotate, like there are things that I want to like kind of, okay, let me get into this and do see if I'm really gonna like it. I mean, with the whole bike thing, I think that it's going to be something long term. I mean, that's why we decided to, commit to it by getting one and everything. But and just like, you know, with coding, I feel like I wasn't really happy with the path that I was, you know, that my career was taking, how everything was shaping up like you know, several years ago. So I got into it by starting the boot camp and all of that. And I mean, here we are like 5 years later, you know, like like this time 5 years ago, I was like in the second month of the boot camp, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, you know, it just shows how, I mean, I've been able to stick with it because I'm still interested in it. You know, like I find it very, it's challenging, but it's also very rewarding. You know, I like how things have worked out. But yeah, I mean, there have been like activities here and there that I got into that I was just like, yeah, sure, it's fun for like a little while, but then I'm kind of like over it. It depends. I think that the main thing, I guess the main takeaway is like just try new things. You never know. Like you might get really into something and then it will turn into like a big hobby for you, you know? So that's what I feel like I do. No. Yeah, no, we don't. I wouldn't condone that.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to be a hobby. That will wreck your life.
Yeah. But no, for real. Yeah. I'm 1000% with you. Yeah. What was the main theme for that? What did we learn today, Anna? What can the listeners take away from this? Because we talked about motorcycles. We talked about
follow your dreams.
Yeah. We talked about Grimes, and Rubik's Cubes. So, whatever you take away from this episode, apply it to your life.
Oh, do you have a recommendation? I do.
The Python math thing, I guess, was kind of my recommendation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please proceed.
Okay, so this week we went to watch the Batman movie, and I was really impressed. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
How long was it?
I got really into it. It was like 3 hours. It was long. But yeah, we went on like Tuesday night because we found out that the movie theater by us has matinee, you know, nights on Tuesday. So the tickets are a lot cheaper, and it's still a very nice theater, you know, recliners, dine-in, you know, movie theater. So you can order food and everything. And it was really cool. I liked the movie a lot. So I think that, I mean, I rarely say this, but I'm probably going to buy the Blu-ray so I can watch it, you know, eventually when it comes out. I mean, we got the Sonos for a reason. I feel like I have to crank that up, you know, for when we have Batman on Blu-ray. So it should be really fun. I recommend that one if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't seen it. We have a movie theater. It's like it's called the Living Room movie theater, something like that. And it's I guess it's there's only one movie room in the theater. And it's a block away. It's like a mom and pop sort of movie theater situation where there's a bar and you can eat inside, but I guess it's really small. And they're playing Batman. And I don't know why I haven't just gone to see it, but yeah, 3 hours.
Dude, you should.
I certainly wouldn't be able to order a soda and sit through that. I'd have to get up like 3 times.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good point. Okay, so when we sat down, we got there, I think, 10 minutes before the scheduled time. It was going to start at 7 or 8. No, it was going to start at 8. So I think we sat down. It was like 7:50. And the guy came over, you know, said if we wanted to order anything. And we just got popcorn and, you know, soda. But our order, I guess, never went through because no one ever dropped it off. I never got charged. So I turned to Sam and I was like, do you want me to go ask? Because, I mean, we did ask for the food and the drinks, you know, and she's like, no, it's okay. Because we had gone to a place to grab like a bite to eat before going to the movie theater. So we were doing okay. And I think that's a really good point. If I had the soda, I probably wouldn't have lasted the whole movie for sure. I would have had to leave. You know, to go to the restroom, but it is a very long movie. And we were pretty sleepy by the end of it. I think it was like, I mean, it was 11 o'clock or something, 11:30 almost by the time that it was, you know, wrapping up. So it was, that's just the one thing to keep, you know, to be mindful of. But I really like the score, you know, like it's a dark Batman movie, the darkest I think I've watched, and it was surprisingly good, you know, like I feel like I got over the whole fact that Robert Pattinson was in the Twilight series and all that. That wasn't really like, you know, one thing that's like constantly in your face. Oh, this is the vampire guy, but Not really. You know, the cast was very good. You know, the effects were amazing. The score was very good. I don't know who's behind the score on that one because I know Hans Zimmer did the other Batman movies. But yeah, I would say I give it like, I don't know, 8.5 out of 10 or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, it was pretty solid, I think.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I'll find a way to watch it, whether it be
Cool.
at the living room movie theater or in my living room. So we'll see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else we want to
No,
share? No?
no, just follow your dreams, kids.
Follow your dreams, don't do drugs, and learn something new today. Maybe not today.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to
right.
be today. If it's something,
Any day.
if it's something ambitious, take the week, take a month, whatever it takes. Just be curious. That's the message. Be curious.
Right.
Oh no, what isn't there a company? It's like Stay Curious, something what you know what I'm talking about? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's a tagline for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Wait,
right.
let me do a number crunch.
I was gonna say, yeah, if there's something that you've always put off learning or doing, because of like lack of time or lack of resources, try to make it happen because I feel like it's so worth it. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you've been wanting to do it. You're never too old to do anything, in my opinion. So yeah, do something fun. Like do something for yourself. I think that's the moral too. Like you wanna be happy. Like we only get this. We only get this one chance, so we might as well make the most of it.
So I don't know if I can find it, but the only thing I found was an article from PBS from 2000 where it was PBS's new campaign, and it was just stay curious.
Huh, interesting.
So
I feel like I
don't
have
think
heard
that's
that.
right.
I feel like I've heard that on like a from like a YouTube channel or something.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Maybe it's not a company.
I just don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. Stay curious. Stay something. Kids,
Wait, let me
whatever.
try one more time. If it's a YouTube channel. Nah, I can't find it. All right. Well, just be curious. Don't do it because a company told you, do it because tech heads told you. That'll be our slogan.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
All right. Well, peace out, guys. See you next week. Thank you for tuning into Tech Heads. Yeah. Later.
Take care. Bye.
Doom.